Welcome back to Behind the Paws. I'm your host, Alex Sullivan. And this week we have a special guest, Coach Abseck. Welcome back, Coach.
I appreciate having me.
Well, we finished our season 8-4 overall. How do you feel about how the season went?
I feel like it was, a successful season, a season of change and adjustment. I thought the kids did a really good job of buying into the things that we're asking them to do. New schemes, offensively, defensively, special teams, new practice schedules, all the things that, for a bunch of kids that have been, doing a lot of the same things for their entire football career, to see them adjust and adapt to the things we're asking them to do was, rewarding, appreciated, because you just never know when you come to a new place how things are going to be accepted. And I couldn't think of anything that they've done other than make me proud to come out and compete every week.
All right. Well, we had a lot of fun and exciting moments. I think back to when we had that overtime win against Westbrook. What was the most fun you probably had this season?
I think all of it's been, an experience and had, different points in it that were fun, learning new traditions and the things that, a new place bring has been, been fun and an experience. The season as a whole, you very rarely get to play as long as you want to. But for us to go back to the playoffs for the second year in a row and get back to the second round, after losing a lot of really good, talented kids from the previous team, was a challenge, but also very much rewarding to see the seniors and some of the juniors and sophomores step up to fill those places. But as far as games, getting your first win at NAC was for me personally was nice, coming back off of the game from Longview, but beating Tyler at home on a comeback, and then getting into district and going on the road to get some big wins to finish out the district season so that we could go to the playoffs. The comeback against Westbrook was nice. It was at home, but then, we got to go down to Sterling and beat a team that was playing really well and hot at the time on the road, going to United and beating them on the road. That was another playoff team. So there was a lot of fun moments, and then going to see, we played the two playoff games and we had, great crowds at both of them. So it was a lot of fun. It was overall, it's been a fun experience, period.
All right. Well, do you think there's anything you would change that you did this season?
There's always hindsight to different things, but I think the biggest piece is we tried to learn our kids as fast as we can, so that we could, figure out how to put them best in positions to help us be successful. So, there's always going to be some things that you would change, but overall, I think our team achieved to the level, that we wanted to go out and compete and compete for championships. And I think our kids did that. We lost a lot of really talented kids from the year before. And so there was a lot of opportunities for people to step up into new positions and they did that, and represented us well. And, other than some things that you would always change in any given year, I don't really think there's anything major that I would change.
All right. And on the other hand, where do you think that you excelled this season?
I thought we played really well on defense throughout the year. They gave us a chance to be successful every week. And that was the side of the ball that there was a lot of guys that had graduated from the previous year. So you had a lot of new guys stepping into new roles on the defensive side. But I thought overall that was probably the biggest bright spot on our team in terms of overall consistent performance. And we did a really good job on that. There was different games where offensively we played well, and several games where the special teams made some big plays. And so, it was a team effort, but I think there's no question that defensively that was our strength this year.
So what would you say is the area that you think needs the most improvement in the team?
We've got to be more consistent on the offensive side. Biggest deal physically between now and next season, we got to get bigger, faster, and stronger, which is the goal in off season. But it'll give us an opportunity to fully install, your off season program. We need to be more disciplined and be more consistent in our approach on how we prepare and go out and play consistency. So that's going to be where the biggest improvements can be. But the biggest deal is just having an opportunity to be with them for a full year. I got here in February last year, and for a large part of that, you're just trying to learn the kids and learn what they can do well and things of that nature. So it wasn't quite the same off season as what we'll do this year, but it was more of a learning deal. But I think we can get better in those areas. It's going to make us more competitive and have a greater chance for success next year.
All right. Now, there's a lot of great teams left in the playoffs this year. Do you think, is that something that you follow, or do you just sit back and refocus for the next year?
I mean, I'm a football fan, so I watch it. I don't go to as many games, physically, but I watch them on TV, and I kind of keep up with it to see, how people are doing. We lost 4 games and on the year, and 2 of those teams are still playing. Our district was really good, and the fact that our 2 district reps are in the Region 3 finals is impressive, but it's also a testament to the type of teams we were playing all year. Weiss just got put out last week, and Longview got put out in the second week. So, all the teams that we lost to are playoff teams, and 2 of them are still playing. So it's a credit to our kids that, we did go out and compete against some of the best.
So with our season done, this will be the first time that you have a full off season. What would the off season look like for the players as they get ready for next year?
Well, it's going to be tough physically, mentally. We're going to try to challenge them in all those different areas and discipline, because there's some things that I think if we can correct them, it's going to be significant in helping us be successful. And discipline is a big piece of that. But they're going to work hard. In the weight room, we're going to work hard on the turf to improve our quickness and our agility. But we're going to get stronger, and that's a big key. That's why we've invested in the weight room and changing that so that we can create more workspace, so we can get in there and get lifted for not just football, but for all the sports, because it's a high demand area, and successful programs spend a lot of time in the weight room. But that's what our season is going to be about: discipline and finding those guys that are committed to the process, and then get in there and get after it and get bigger, faster, and stronger.
So are there any new, you could say, sub-varsity or people stepping into senior roles that you're ready for next year, excited for?
There's a bunch of guys on that played for us on the JV and the freshman teams that are going to have an opportunity to come up and compete for spots next year on the varsity. We obviously have a large number of kids coming back off the varsity, and so there's opportunity for a lot of kids to gain a role on our team at the varsity level that are going to be coming up off the JV and varsity, our freshmen. So I'm excited about seeing them as they progress throughout the spring and summer and then go out and compete. The biggest advantage to competition is it makes you stronger overall. And so that's the biggest key, is to find those kids that want to go out and compete for opportunities and understand that there's no handouts, that they're going to have to go earn it every day.
All right. So, the UIL is going to be hard at work on the new district's assignments, and, I'm sure they're going to have some changes. What is your opinion on where we might go?
That's a good question, and I've been asked that a bunch of times over the last 3-4 weeks, and the real answer is we have no idea. We're kind of in a location that we could go north real easy, or we can go south back where we've been the last 2 years. But I don't know that there's any way to know right now. The biggest deal is the numbers. Once they come out with the breakdown of the classification numbers, cutoff numbers, then you can kind of start gathering some guesses. But really, until February of 2026, it's all a guess anyways. But my gut tells me we'll still stay south, but who knows?
Is there a scenario that you hope happens?
Either way you go, you're playing good people. And so it really, other than for travel, I think going south is better because it's a shorter trip overall. To the north of us, really the only school that's 5A Division I is Tyler. And then you got to get to the Metroplex for that. So I think, for travel, it'd be best if we stayed south, but who knows?
Well, I think we had a good season, so I guess we're going to wrap it up. Coach Abseck, thank you for joining us and giving us time every week at here at LPTV. We'll see you soon.
I appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you.